Science. Science. I'm the science robot. Science robot. I'm going to the emergency room. Science robot. I'm in the emergency room. Doctor, I have aches and pains and shit happening to my body and things happening. What do? You can't help me? You can't help me? You can't help me? Sending me home with medication. Can you help me? Science robot. Science robot. Overload. 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 Science robot overloading. Science robot. Science robot. I'm at the emergency room again. I need help. I'm having pain in my chest. Pain in my chest. Pain. What is this? What? My genetics. All the tests seem fine. Science robot. Science robot. Lacking protein. Lacking protein. Protein robot. Protein robot. Lacking protein. Need protein. Need protein. Need protein. I need my protein. Caffeine. Caffeine robot. I need my caffeine. I need my caffeine. Caffeine robot. Caffeine robot. Short circuit. Short circuit. Hello? Yeah. Are you okay? What did they say in the emergency room? That your spasms and your arm spasming? What else? You got your heart's fluttering? What'd they say? Science knows everything. They have to have an answer in the emergency room. They said they don't know what's wrong with you. Did you do all the tests? CAT scan, MRI? They did it all? They took blood from you? What did the doctor say when you walked in? When you were shaking? He said the tremors could be anxiety. Really? Is it anxiety? No, it's not. You just woke up and your whole body's spasming and tremoring? And you're dizzy and you're sick? Did you throw up? Well, how come they don't have the answers? They say they have the answers. What'd they give you? Anti-anxiety medication? Really? That's terrible. How many times have you been in the emergency room? 4 times this week? Yeah. I know we're supposed to rely on science. They know everything. Yeah, just Google it. Science, medical research and science knows everything. Just Google it. Yeah, science is right about everything. Oh, no. Yeah, don't do anything for your health. No, science has it under control. You just have to do whatever science says. They know everything. Uh-huh. Okay. All right, you're having another shake attack? Tremors? Okay, I'll let you go. Maybe you can go back to the emergency room. They might have an answer there. You never know. Okay, bye. Biggest farce on the planet, science and research. Biggest piece of shit farce there is, science and research. Medical science and research does not work for the humanity, the goodness anymore. It's corrupt. Sorry, it just is. It's been corrupt for years. It's getting more corrupt. It's the ultimate Jim Jones of all time. Cult is a science cult. They got the bots out there. Science. What about science? What about science studies? In the end, science just laughs in everybody's face. That's what they do. They say it's all genes. It's never anything good for anybody. They've weaponized science now. They've weaponized it. Of course, open heart surgery, that was when science was trying to do something good. Yeah, exactly. But those days are gone. They've done what they've done on that level. Now it's completely used to manipulate, control, weaponize, get you to do things you don't want to do, but get you to actually have to rely on medical science and only medical science. And in the end, they have no answers. There's 2 types of sciences, you guys. There's one type, it's public medical research in science, and there's classified medical research in science. Classified medical research and science is why everybody's sick. Everybody is sick. Aches and pains, tingles and numbness, Hashimoto's, eczema, psoriasis, multiple sclerosis, ALS, you name it. It's why everybody's sick. It's why everybody's sick with all the viruses. Classified medical research and science has been raising viruses in labs for years, 100 years, putting it purposely out there to get people sick. That's where the whole measles epidemic, okay, was released by classified medical research and science. They do this purposely. The medical research site releases all of these different diseases, these different bugs, these different pathogens. And I've been saying this for over 35 years. This is nothing new I've been saying. And we're supposed to then rely on science, right? Whatever science says. Meanwhile, science is controlling exactly. They're the creators of all the GMO food. They're both in bed together. They're the creators of the caffeine addiction that you're addicted to. Your baby's addicted to, that your children are addicted to all the caffeine everybody's on. That's science. That's their game. It's a caffeine industry plugged into, big pharma industry, the pharmaceuticals plugged into the GMO industry. They're all in bed together, plugged into the virus industry, and that's what's happening. In public medical research and science doesn't know a thing about what classified medical research and science do. And I know a scientist, he's a good person. Yeah, that's public medical research and science. They don't know anything about what's really happening. So that's how it works out there. So when you get sick, you're not allowed to take your health in your own hands. You better just rely on science, everything science has to say. You can't empower yourself. You can't do what you need to do to heal. You can't get a medical device like this right here, that I have here. If science even was partly good at this point in this day and age, after the millions of people getting their lives back and healing from using celery juice, you think they would issue a real, true, classified, and publicly known study on celery juice and what it's doing? You think they would take 500 people really sick and give them celery juice and give them certain amounts of it and really show a real study? But they won't, because they're not there to work for anybody. They're not there to help anybody. They're not there to fix anybody. Science and research is not doing that anymore. It's weaponized. It's got an agenda. The agenda is treat you like dogs, keep you down like dogs, make sure you're sick, and make sure you never get better. And that's what science is about now. It's the ultimate cult. Years ago, someone would be like, no, science has got some good stuff, and there's some good stuff in there. And I'd be like, yeah, that's true. There's some good stuff sprinkled in out of it. It's boom, gone. It's not like anybody even thinks. It's worse. It's to a point that no one can even imagine. And I talked about this, okay? I talked about this before, my early podcasts, the very beginning of my early podcasts, and everybody got irritated because they couldn't understand what I was saying. Like, they didn't know what it meant. They didn't know what these words mean,
That's how it works. This is the only health show where the information here doesn't come from any kind of medical interest group, medical funding with strings attached, botched research, medical lobbyists, internal kickbacks, persuaded belief systems, private panels of influencers, health field payoffs, or trendy traps, all in alternative, of course, in conventional medicine, but in alternative medicine too. And that's what's happened. The world has changed. It's not the same place at all. The information here comes from a clean source, an untampered with source, a pure source, advanced source for anybody new listening to this radio show, because we get, the hundreds and hundreds and thousands of new people that hear about the Medical Medium radio show and they come on.
What happened is I would be ridiculed by alternative doctors that would say, no, science is not corrupt. What are you talking about? Paid for, interest groups, agendas, thumb on the scale, botched research. What do you mean? Like, naturopaths would contact me and be like, that's crazy. That doesn't exist. Science is God. Even alternative medicine believes science is God and can't do no wrong, and science is actually everything. And that's back then. That's years ago. I don't know what, 7 years ago or whatever. And 7 years ago, people would just be like, what is he talking about? Like, Everything's all happy in alternative medicine and conventional medicine. Well, what do you mean science is botched and science is agendaed and science... And and I got so much shit for that, so much crap for that, so much flack for saying that at the beginning of the radio shows. I got 1 star after 1 star on my podcast after 1 star because someone that knew a little bit about alternative medicine would go to my podcast episode, they'd hear it, and they'd be like, what is this? What's he even saying? And they would give me a 1 star without listening to the episode. And that's because people are brainwashed. That's what it is. It literally is the cult of all cult in our century right now. The science and the science bots and the science robots and all of them involved. It's really sad. And now people are just starting to see some scientific corruption. I think they're just starting to see it a little bit, but it's so sick the way it's always been. And you get sick with something, okay? It's hard to get help these days because here's what's happening. You've got your usual stuff. People don't take care of themselves early on in their life. They get an appendix problem. They get a gallbladder that needs to be taken out, right? And good science learned how to take those gallbladders out and take those appendix out, right? And do things like that, right? And so science had something to offer throughout the years, but now it's only being used against everyone. It's not upgrading. It's not moving forward. They're not advancing science, you guys. They're not advancing it to where we need to go with the pathogens that classified science released all these years ago. They're not advancing it so people can heal and learn how to heal. They're not teaching people how to get a medical device into their life and use it. They're not teaching people any of this, right? Science, and I'm talking about chronic illness, science and chronic illness. Here's what's happening between right now and the next 10 years. You can see emergency rooms after emergency rooms filled with people with neurological problems like never seen before in our history. It's already happening now. Pharmacies right now can't even keep up with the orders of medication. In most of the states in this country and even overseas, there's lines waiting for their medication because it's not ready. You have to wait like 4 days now because they don't have enough people able to fill those prescriptions out. I'm hearing this every day by doctors. Because everybody's sick like never before, blood clots like never before, neurological problems like never before. And I talked about this before, and it's going to go to a place, whoa, it's coming there, where everybody's sick, it's normal to be sick, and science isn't going to help anybody with all those neurological symptoms. You think science can help you with brain fog? That's interesting. Do you guys know if science can help you with brain fog? I want to ask you guys a couple of questions, if that's okay, because I don't like bothering you guys or asking you guys much. Do you think science and research can fix somebody's bad brain fog? So I'm kind of like scratching my head on that one, right? Is science and research going to fix somebody's spasms and twitches and somebody's severe OCD and somebody's dizziness when they're chronically dizzy? Can science and research fix somebody's burning skin where it's just mysteriously burning? I mean, do you guys know if science and research fixes all that? Because they don't. They never did, and they certainly won't now, and they're not going to start. You guys, I wasn't going to talk about the juicer again, but I got hit with so many DMs about why this juicer, why do you use this juicer, what juicer do you use? I was just going to go just one more time fill you in on the juicer. It's $50 off. The sale's going to end in a couple of days, and it's going to be over. It's $50 off. They give you a celery juice book for free, a couple of glass bottles, talk about why it's so great, okay? But if I don't talk about it, I'm going to be tortured with thousands of more DMs. And the DMs are always like the same. It's like, I'm interested in a juicer. I don't have much money. What's the best one to invest in? And it's like, it's sad because they can save money by juicing with this juicer and save themselves thousands of dollars as the years go on. And so it's like, if I don't talk about it, I feel like guilty. If I talk about it too much, I feel bad. It's like, what do I do? So I'm in this jam right now where I'm getting DMs about what juicer. This doesn't have metal gears, so you don't get metal contamination. And I get lots of people asking in the comments too about the juicers. It's not just DMs, it's like comment sections. Do you only juice celery? You can juice anything with this, Ashton. Anything. It's incredible. What's the name of the juicer? It's the MM900 HDS. It's only one of a kind. Okay? It's at omegajuicers.com. $50 off right now. I'm going to show you the pulp comes out dry. Okay? Food is going up. Just want to say this. Food is cranking up in price. Gas is cranking up in price, right? So we're in this crazy place right now where gas is going to go up and up and up. Like, it's going to go up. And food is going to then go real high. And what I like about this juicer, okay, what I love about this juicer, not like, is when you juice it, when you juice like celery, like use herbal medicine like this to heal yourself, you're spending less money. You'll end up saving $20 extra, $30 extra, $50 extra by the end of the week. And then you can put that money to more food. You can put that money to more things you need. So this right here has already saved me thousands over the last couple of years. And so, and I've kept track to a good degree because I've cut my celery buying in half. And it's allowed me to buy other things. So it's just an incredible device right now with food prices going up because the powers that be, want it that way. That's not by accident. Food prices are up. Gas is going to be up. Sickness is up. People are getting sick more than ever before. That's on purpose. That's by design. So that's how the world works. The illumination wants everybody sick and busted. And what I love about this device is I feel like I'm empowered and I'm actually beating a part of that. It's like, okay, well, guess what? I'm saving all this money. I love it. It's helping me heal. It's helping me stay strong. It's keeping my adrenals strong. And that's what I love about this juicer. That's just one thing, a couple of things, right? And so the new normal is to be sick. Every child is going to have symptoms. Already we're at a place where 90% of all children are dealing with mystery symptoms. Think about that. 90% of all children in the United States are dealing with mystery health symptoms. Think about that. Does that seem right to you? Does that seem good? Right? In the next few years, we're going to be up against 98% of all children dealing with mystery symptoms. Going to the pediatrician constantly, going to the specialist, your child undergoing so many tests. That's where we're heading now too. Okay? It's not the world of yesterday, of yesteryear. Right? Exactly. I was explaining this to my daughter recently, Trisha Marie. I just saw that comment come up. Good to see you, Trisha. So yeah, it is true. It is true, you guys. Guys, we're live on Telegram. We're live on IG. We're live on TikTok. Is where we're live right now. Okay? So, talking about the Omega MM900 HCS. Look, if you guys got any juicer, incredible. Keep your juicer. Okay? If you got any juicer, amazing. Someday, though, if you ever want to upgrade to save money, this juicer pays for itself. So that's what it does. It actually pays for itself. I've never had a juicer do that. I've only had juicers cost me money. So it's like, oh shit, here it goes. Going to spend a whole bunch of more money, and this juicer pays for itself, and that's what I love about it. So, and I want to show you guys a couple things about it. Hi, you guys. Good to see you. We're talking about science, how it's let everybody down, how the old science that's there to help people with certain surgeries, that's all great. And I'm glad we still have some of that old science, but we're in a place where the new science is just an agenda. It's there to destroy people. It's there to weaken them. It's there to manipulate them and gaslight them. That's science of today. That's where it is today. So I want to show you the pulp, right? The pulp is dry. I know I show you guys all this all the time, but it's like if someone else doesn't see it though, and then they don't know how to help themselves. See, it's like dust that comes out basically. It's like that kind of thing. That doesn't happen. People have to have the wet, sloppiest pulp, and they have tons of pulp. It fills their whole container when they juice anything. And it fills their whole container with wet stuff, right? That's where the money's saved. No other juicer I've found yet does this. Diana says this juicer saves a lot of money. Exactly. So that's the whole point. And right now it's on sale for a couple more days. It's $50 off. You can't beat that. I'm letting you know. And the thing is, you guys, it's like, I thought about it and I was like, oh God, they know what juicer, but people don't. They're like, what juicer do you use? So I'm kind of stuck in this revolving, like, catch-22 vicious cycle where if I don't show you guys, then how am I going to answer your question about it? And how am I going to teach you about why it's so great and all that? It's really an amazing tool. This is a medical device, important to know, a medical device. A medical device is something that's helpful for your health, your state of being, your state of health, right? Even life-saving, okay? So I've seen celery juice save people's lives. That's what I've seen all these years, okay? How do you feel about bottled celery juices from the store? They're awful. They're HPP. Terrible. I would never buy one. It's garbage and it doesn't work. Now, if you go to a juice bar and you ask them to juice fresh celery for you, that's different. That's not bottled juice. The bottled juice you see at the store is HPP, high pressure pasteurization. Stay away from that like the plague with celery juice. It destroys it. It's pasteurized. It's not raw and it's not fresh. Keep that in mind. That's a scam. That's a juice business scam. Bottled celery juice is a juice business scam. You have to know what's up. Same thing with red coconut water, pink coconut water. It's a scam. Keep that in mind. That red coconut water is a coconut water business scam. It's actually went bad. It oxidized. You're drinking really bad coconut water if you drink that red coconut water. Where it's like, oh, pink, they say it's better for you. That was set up, that's a scam. 100%. And bottled celery juice is a scam too. It's not raw and it's not fresh. So anyway, that's really important to know, all of that is. Don't add anything to your celery juice if you want it to work. If you want it to work, don't add ice, don't add water, don't add lemon, really important, and strain it, okay? That's herbal medicine. That's what this is. If you hear somebody say, hey, you lost all your fiber, you shouldn't juice, eat your celery sticks, they're delusional. They don't know anything about medicine when it's herbal medicine. This is an herbal extraction. It has to be extracted from the fiber. The medicine's not in the fiber when it's an herb. The medicine is in the extraction. It means they're unseasoned as a practitioner or a doctor or a health coach. They don't know a lot. And it means you may want to be cautious at other things they offer you. You may want to have your eyes open and see. Okay? So when someone says, some nutritionist or a dietitian or a doctor says, no, don't do the celery juice. You want to eat it. You want to throw it in your blender in the stalks, right? Do you eat all the tea leaves? Is that what you guys do? When you extract herbal medicine from your tea, are you opening up the tea bag and gobbling it down? Is that what you're doing? No, you're not. You're not eating the tea bags. It's herbal medicine. You extract it. And what happens is, if a nutritionist or a dietitian or a naturopath or a functional medicine doctor or an MD or something tells you not to drink celery juice because it's being juiced and the fiber's not there, that means they don't know a heck of a lot of things about herbs, herbal medicine, or anything like that. It's critical to know that's an herbal extraction. That's how it works. It's how you get the best out of it. It's herbal medicine. This is an herbal medicine maker right here. And what it does is it squeezes everything out of that fiber. It squeezes really strongly to get everything out of that fiber. Okay? And that's what it does. And where does the fiber go? The fiber goes in the toilet, just like all the other fiber in your body, right? When you eat fiber, So the juicer squeezes all the fiber out, and then you throw that leftover pulp and fiber in the garbage. So here you go. That's the juicer fiber right there, right? All squeezed out, and that's what's left is this dry. This is getting drier by the second. It's turning into dust now. That's how you know your pulp is really dry, is when it gets drier by the air to the point where there's no moisture in it anymore. So this is going to get thrown out. I'm not going to give that to a pet because it's so pressed. This just gets tossed out. Just like if you eat a celery stick, it goes into the toilet bowl, comes out of you into the toilet bowl. You go to bathroom. You eat a celery stick, you're still going to throw all the fiber away. You're still going to throw it in the toilet. What are you going to do? Collect all the poo and collect your fiber because a nutritionist tells you that you can't throw it out or you can't get rid of it? And you can eat celery sticks, that's great, but you also got to do this as the medicine. So which juicer model was he using? It's the MM900 HDS. It's that specific one at omegajuicers.com. So it's that specific juicer model at omegajuicers.com. We're talking about science, talking about the science cult. We're talking about the agenda behind science. We're talking about how science isn't working for the people anymore. Science doesn't work for people anymore. It constantly works with agendas. It's been polluted 100% at this point now in time in our history. And it's been bad for 100 years, but now it's to a point where public medical research in science is so polluted, it's completely crossed into classified. Classified medical research in science is what really has gotten the world sick and keeps the world sick. But now publicly known medical research in science has taken it to a new level. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. And classified medical research in science has the responsibility to secretly making us sick for all these years with viruses. Your simplexes, you know somebody with herpes. If you're dealing with herpes, you're dealing with simplex 1, or you're dealing with cold sores, or you're dealing with simplex 2, or you're dealing with those things. Well, that's only here. That's only here for one reason. Classified medical research in science released that into our environment through blood transfusions back in the early days. That's why that exists, right? Cytomegalovirus causing problems with pregnant women, with all kinds of things. HPV, that's because of classified HIV too. Classified medical research in science, put HIV out there. That's right. Yeah, and they're responsible for the damage done in the gay community because of HIV. They're responsible in the damage done around the world. Okay, emotionally, the damage done emotionally and physically. Okay, classified science and research put Epstein-Barr out there purposely, so everybody's sick with Epstein-Barr and shingles and all the different conditions with shingles. They put the measles out there. Classified medical research science put the chickenpox out there. It wouldn't even be here, wouldn't even exist. They put that out there. They bred it. They hybridized it, bred it, and genetically altered it and put it out there. So that's what they do, okay? And I've been talking about this for over 35 years, right? So what, and long haulers, that's medical medium information as far as Epstein-Barr being responsible for long haul. Post-plague long haul, that's actually info, published info. It came from here originally. And I talked about it, how being flu. The flu was a trigger for Epstein-Barr to cause long haul flu. Did you guys know that? Did you know for years I've been talking about long haul flu? Because it triggers off Epstein-Barr. Talking about the medical medium books and long before that. And the flu is put out by classified medical research and science. So that's out there. We wouldn't have a flu. We wouldn't have anything. So the reason why we're sick is because of science. And then you go to the emergency room and they won't have an answer for you for all your mysterious conditions. Your children having asthma and needing an EpiPen. Your children being allergic to peanuts and needing an EpiPen. Your children being they won't have any clue to what they're responsible for that, but they won't have a clue as to what's causing it at all, but yet they're responsible. That's how it works. So, what happens is that, and then if they had any integrity at all, after how many people have healed, it's the number one crop in produce on the planet right now. This is the number one crop, right? Okay. The media has hid how much celery is being sold now around the world. How there are thousands and tens of thousands of celery farms now. It's the number one crop on the planet in produce, and no one talks about it. Science doesn't even want to study it because they're scared to death. They're going to find that it's healing people because it already is. And once that gets out of the mainstream, gets out of the bag, science isn't going to do that and show a study, right, of all these people getting their lives back, because that puts the pharmaceutical world out of business. If the whole world's drinking celery juice, you see, and that's how corrupt science is. That's how it is. He has written about the plague in the newest book, Medical Medium, the revised and expanded. Rosanna, thanks. Yeah, I mean, check that book out, you guys. You can learn about it. You're drinking your celery juice? And most people are closet drinking celery juice, just so you know. That's what they do. They closet drink it. I've talked about that many times already. So this is the MM900 HDS. You guys know I'm working with Omega on this because it was such an incredible tool and such an incredible medical device. And it's saving everybody money. Anybody that's using this right now is saving thousands. It's thousands as the year goes by in food costs. Okay? And so I'm on board. I just need this thing to be out there so people have a way to heal. And this is a great, great option. It's $50 off right now. It doesn't have the metal gears, which is amazing. Amazing. The metal centrifuges, the metal gears, bad. All bad. The metal gears going like this. Hey, I got a cold press juicer and it's got the metal gears. It's cost me $400, $500 from a really good company. I won't say the names. And it's got the metal gears. Yeah, all that metal grinding against each other for years. Really great. This is the way to go. It's incredible. It's $50 off at omegajuicers.com. This is the model MM900 HDS. Save yourself money because the food prices are going up. And I feel it. I got friends telling me, oh my God, food prices are going up. I'm like, do you have your juicer? Like, yeah, I got the centrifuge juicer, the one. I'm like, are you kidding? It's just throwing money out, right? And when people complain about the cost of celery, well, you just cut your cost in half. You got your herbal medicine and you just cut your cost of celery in half. Instead of buying 8 bunches of celery, you now have to buy only 5, sometimes 4. I mean, what? It's incredible. It's incredible. Anyway, I was just showing you the pulp now actually dried pretty much. That's it. It's like turning to dust. That's how incredible this is. So the problem right now is that people are getting sicker more than ever, and that's where we're heading. We're heading into a land of illness. No one's escaping it unless they know how to heal, take care of themselves. It's a medical medium information's about. And you guys, I know so many of you have been through so much in your life, and I'm proud of you for everything you're doing. Some of you guys have not had it easy at all. You guys have been through hell and back, never validated, nobody understanding. You guys been to the emergency rooms throughout the years. You've been to your specialists and your neurologists, and you've been through so much. And just know I'm so proud of you for like taking the journey and fighting for it and keep on keeping in it to fight for it and get yourself better. I'm proud of you for all you're doing. You're doing your celery juice and everything else. Truly am. And you guys, we're live by the way on Telegram. You get kicked off IG. We're on Telegram. You just go to Telegram. TikTok. We're live on TikTok too. So yeah, it's good to see you guys. It's incredible. Pat yourself on the back. Have compassion for yourself. You're not why you're sick. You didn't create your sickness. You're not the reason why you're sick. It's not your fault. There's real toxins, pathogens, and poisons that were put out long before you were born. Traps that were set for us to get sick and our children to get sick, by the science cult. So just know that it's not your fault, all right? And yeah, the good parts of science are fading. There still is good parts left, but they're fading. Sure, you break your leg in a ski accident. The good part of science will be there for you. Anything else? They're not really. There's so many people suffering right now going into the doctor's offices and an ER, and they're just suffering. Chronic illness is a whole other game. Chronic illness is a mystery to research in science, even though classified medical research in science created chronic illness. Did you guys know that? Classified medical research in science created your chronic illness. Publicly known medical research in science doesn't even have a clue. They'll just say genetics, your body attacking itself. Great, you got an autoimmune diagnosis. That's not a diagnosis. And then they put the blame on you and your body for causing all your problems. And that's how it works. We've already lost tens of thousands of women to Lyme disease in the last 50 years, just so you know. Last 45 years, 50 years. Tens of thousands of women died from Lyme disease from the early treatments, from not understanding it, nowhere, even all of that. Like, we have a wake of just injured, wounded soldiers and loss of life from research in science. And it's really sad. And now, blood is on their hands as they're drawing more blood from you. And right now, the whole thing now, you guys, is they're going to be drawing blood out of your arms like never before. So that's where it's going. So it's going to be blood test after blood test after blood test. Recommended constantly wherever you go. Every single new doctor is going to want a new blood profile. And then they're just going to drain you of the blood and then put it on the black market. The doctor doesn't know this, but it'll go on the black market. And people are already deficient, and they're just going to draw all your blood out because they don't need that much blood. Check out the Medical Medium podcast at Apple Podcasts, the blood draw episode if you get a chance. Check that out. So the whole goal is to drain everybody of their blood. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm maybe overreacting or something? Like, oh, that can't be true. They're blood suckers right now, and that blood is going on the black market for genetic research against our bodies. So when you go to the blood lab or you go get blood drawn in your doctor's office, they take 10 vials, 8 vials, they use a drop of it, a couple of drops of it, and then it goes in to genetic testing, to how to destroy people's lives, how to destroy children's lives. That's where it goes into after that. They take blood. When you donate blood, they literally take all that blood. They use a little portion in the hospitals they delve out, and all the rest of that blood they take goes on the black market into science and research. And I won't say the next part it goes, and a big hunk of that blood goes somewhere else that I won't even say right on here. I won't. Maybe I'll say it in a podcast someday where that section of the blood goes. Your mind would be so blown. You have no idea how blown your mind would be. Okay? And everybody's already efficient. So the next thing is for science and research is to keep on stealing everybody's blood, robbing their blood, and that's the next whole. That's like the next goal, right? That they're working on. Anyway, you guys, $50 off the megajuicer.com, megajuicers.com. Take advantage of the sale. It's only for a couple more days. You save money. Food prices are going up. You know, I love being involved in something I could actually stand behind and just feel really good about. Like, this is the only thing that I'll only be involved in something I know is going to make a difference in somebody's life. And if this is already saving me that much money and food prices are going up, it's like, then I know it's going to help you. And it's not just that. You're doing the best extraction for herbal medicine, so you're getting the best out of your herbal medicine. Anyway, you guys, remember this, the Medical Medium community, and don't forget it, is the most spiritually evolved community there is. Because when you go through chronic illness, symptoms, and conditions, and you've been through hell and back, right? And you haven't been validated, and you've been up and down, and you've been to different alternative doctors, and conventional doctors and specialists, and ERs, and many times felt completely alone and even abandoned by just the system, by family members, by friends. Just know that creates spiritual growth that no one can touch. No one can touch. I don't care how good at somebody is at yoga, and I don't care how many times they put their hand together and they say namaste, and I don't care how many times they go to a retreat into a mountaintop and pray. I don't care how many campfires they've been around and talked about the stars, while high on ayahuasca or on weed. The most spiritual people on the planet is the medical medium community because of the chronic illness they suffered and how they fought their way back along the way with it. And even if you're not there yet and you haven't gotten to that part where you fought your way back all the way yet, the spiritual growth you have throughout the process is unmatched and unmeasured, and it's not measurable. And it overrides anybody who's never been sick. Never been sick. Okay? Because the spiritual nature of the medical medium community is when you get sick and you lose things, you get to live without. You live without certain things. You live without certain things you can do. And you live without with so much. That part alone just is spiritual growth. Versus so many people in the world are not sick and they have good resources, or they come from money and they can have all the things they want, but yet they think they're spiritual. Spiritual is living without at times in your life. Spiritual is coming back from a hardship. Spiritual is dealing with chronic illness. Spiritual is having symptoms and having to find your way to get out of it and learn and grow. Spiritual is about that learning through that process. It's the most powerfully spiritual community there is in the world, hands down, is the MM community. Because when you lose those privileges, and when you lose things in your life, and you lose those basic life privileges, and when you lose things that you're not validated, and you've been through hell and back, and you've struggled like you've struggled, even not even be able to take a shower or walk, or you're bedridden or on mattress island, even if you're in that condition, a part of you grows in your soul that can never be explained or touched. It's unmatched. I love you guys. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Love you dearly, truly, truly.